Class is in session. Yeah. Class is in session. Class is in session. Ask me a question. Class is in session. Class is in session. Class is in session. Ask me a question. It gets massive in seconds. I'm on task with the message. We gon' talk about the past and the present. Hey, ask me a question. Yeah, these facts be the weapons. Ask me a question. Yeah, class is in session. Class is in session. Class is in session. Ask me a question. Yeah, class is in session. Class is in session. Class is in session. Ask me a question. Yeah, class is in session.
Hey, welcome to Class in Session. It's your favorite host, it's the Urban Scholar, and class is now in session. What we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about relationships, but we're going to be specific, and we're going to talk in general about relationships. And the reason why relationships is an important topic is because relationships are the key for and to everything. A lot of people post COVID are struggling even more with relationships. Personally, people are struggling with friendships, family relationships, business relationships. And we're going to break it down tonight on Class in Session. And we're going to talk about each category, and I'm going to expound on them and give examples of those relationships and how to create relationships that position you and put you in a better situation. So let's start with personal relationships, right? So personal relationships are very key. Why? Because in a personal relationship, it could be a spouse, it could be a family member, and in some cases, it could be a friend. But we're gonna leave that portion out and be more specific in terms of what we mean by personal. So we'll start with family and personal in that category. So many of us have family members, and I'm speaking to those who are entrepreneurs per se. They have some type of business. They may be trying to progress in the entertainment world, whether it be acting, music, whatever it is you're doing. And a lot of times, those individuals take those relationships for granted. And I'm saying that because some people come with the expectation that they expect family and their friends and their close people to just jump on their bandwagon and just run with the flag on whatever it is that they're trying to do. So let me explain to you how relationships really work and why people do or don't support you. Because you're going to have a lot of people that support you, and then you're going to have people that look at you and act like they don't see you. So let's start with family. Your family knows you as who you are, who you grew up being. A lot of times in family structures, they don't really make the transition with you when you're trying to embark upon whatever path that is you're embarking upon, because that's your journey. And no one will have your vision. And in most cases, no one will share it. They might like it and support it in a non-supportive way. What does that mean? Meaning they'll say, yo, that's a good idea. I wish you the best. But that's all you want to get from them. And it's important to understand why people are that way. Because a lot of people are struggling with these relationships, right? And trying to figure out why people won't help them. With family, it could have been something where that there's some type of defect in a relationship where when you guys were younger, or they might have been jealous of you, or you just never know. Even with siblings, like jealousy is real, especially within families. There's this thing called jealousy and envy, and people really get these things confused. You know, jealous is somebody that you have something that they want, you know, and they mad you got it. Whether it's a talent, whether it's money, whether it's a career, or style, the way you dress, or you like the most popular person, you got a lot of friends. Like, you just never know why somebody is jealous of you. And guess what? They're not going to come out and tell you, I'm jealous of you. It just doesn't work like that. That's not the way the world is constructed. That's not how people's minds work. Being jealous is more of a private thing. Now, envy. Let's talk about envy. Envy is a little bit more intimate, a little bit more deeper, because envy could lead, right, to other things. Well, they'll be like, hey, Yusef think because, he got a podcast, clothing line and record label and all these things, he's a life coach, he think he better than everybody in the family, you know what I'm saying? He be whispering and stuff, talking about you, you know what I mean? To other family members and your friends. Even your friends will do it. Whole time, Yusef ain't none of those things that they're creating for him, right? But they want other people to buy into what it is they think of you, because with envy, what happens is it's dangerous, because they really want what you have, and at any cost, even if it means destroying you. So you have to be careful with that. And let me explain to you. Let's break down this urban scholar thing. I'm grassroots. I'm from where I'm from. I don't apologize for that. Make no mistakes about that. I'm as real as it get. That's why this is class in session. And let me explain something to you. It doesn't matter how far up the ladder I go, or it doesn't matter what you think of me, whether you see me as some famous public person or I ain't shit to you, right? I don't really care. I'm not concerned. I don't consume my time. I don't waste my time worried about what people think about me, because that would be a sign of low self-esteem and insecurity. And the urban scholar can't be the urban scholar and have those qualities, those personality traits, right? It's not how it works. So jealousy and envy is a whole different thing, right? And you have to know who in your relationships are jealous of you and who are envious of you. Why? Because you need to be careful. You need to know how to move. You need to know how to talk to these people. And you just got to know how to maneuver around them, because it could be somebody close to you who's presenting themselves to be an ally, like they on board with you. The whole time they really not helping you, and they tearing you down behind your back and doing absolutely nothing but verbal profession on how they're going to help you. They're not reposting your stuff. They're not telling people about your business. They're not sharing it with anybody. They're not doing anything, but they're always in your circle, right, in your space, presenting themselves to be on with you and for you. And every now and then they'll whisper to you and they'll tell you that they got a great idea and all these other things, but it's all self-motivated. It's all about, I'm going to bring him something, or I'm going to bring them something, right, that it's my idea, it's my plug, it's my situation, and he going to have to owe me for that. You don't know what people are thinking, what kind of games they playing ahead. People are sick, man. I work in the field of helping people who are sick. And people are sick at a level of the audacity, man. Like, it's amazing how sick people are, man. And I don't know if I ever get out this game of helping people, because I felt like I was able to maneuver and overcome my sicknesses, right? From when I was coming up, unsupervised, running the streets, doing what I was doing, and having those relationships, right? And some of those people I was in the streets with, right, I'm still cool with now. Some of them have transitioned with me. We on our deen now. We done accepted Islam as our faith, and we still striving and doing what we got to do. We still go-getters. I got a lot of friends like that. They survive things on the street that most people wouldn't survive. That most of these things that a lot of my friends who are successful now, and regular dudes like me, who nobody would have never thought they would have came out of what they came out of. And I stay around them because that's the Urban Scholar, they motivate me. I look at my story, I look at their lives, and it's inspiration for me instantly. And I love to see my people win. So for me, relationships are key because they have to provide you something, right? So I make sure that I'm not in a situation where the relationship is not providing me any benefit. And if it is, I manage my way out of it. And if I can't get out immediately, right, of that relationship, I manage in it until I can get to a place of safety. And I choose the word safety for a reason. Because a lot of us in relationships and we're not safe. Physically, right? Emotionally, spiritually, financially. I could keep going. Mentally. Right? So, and some of those relationships are abusive. Right? But we ain't gonna get into that. We're still talking about maneuvering how to manage and identify positive relationships. So let's move forward. Now you're trying to make moves. You're an artist, or you started a movie company, right? Or you're trying to get into this industry, and you start connecting with people, and it's like, oh, what's up? This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm trying to do. I got the label. I got the production company. Yo, I'm trying to do this and do that. And you meet people, and they be like, yeah, I got you. Word is born. Yeah, we're going to do that, da-da-da-da-da. And you never hear back from them. A lot of us can identify with those relationships. See, my whole journey has been about building and establishing positive and healthy relationships, right? And here I am, still self-motivated, right? Because my goals are not dependent on those relationships, whether they're successful or not. One of my friends, man, my comrade told me, he said, Yusef, nobody going to help you. They're not going to help you. And I already knew that, right? Because I judge people based on their actions, not about what they say. A lot of people do lip profession, right? So you got to be able to identify in those relationships. And some of those people are your peoples. Leave them where they are. What do I mean when I say that? I mean that they still your peoples. Just be their peoples. Whatever your relationship is, leave it that way. Don't try to make it something that's not. Even though you might feel like you can gain something from them because they have access to certain people and individuals that could probably help you. But in your journey, you can't get caught up in what people are doing for you and what they're not doing for you. You have to keep at it. See, and that's what I do. That's what I do. Because I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm born in a different time. And my generation is the last of the great. I look at my peers, man, and I look at the stuff we weathered, man. The 70s and the 80s was a mother. If you lived through the 70s and the 80s, man, and it's no discredit to the 60s and all them other times, because this is a different type of struggle, right? But man, that crack hit in the 80s, you know what I'm saying? Yo, it did something to the communities, man. I watched this stuff. I watched people run into the traffic. Like, I saw all this stuff. I could have been a casualty of those things. Even with the relationships I had then, me and my friends, we were just trying to find our way. And as we got older each year, we ventured into different things, and I was always the conscious one. I always thought things out, and I looked at outcomes and what could happen. They wasn't. They was just moving fast and following and making decisions, and I just never been a follower. I'm not going to commit to something I've been in situations, man, with so-called friends I grew up with that they knew I wasn't with all that, and they put me in situations. And I said they put me in because they involuntarily involved me in activities that were not okay. And once I realized what was going on, I stopped it and said, yo, get me out of here. This is not what I do. And you got to be able to stand up for yourself. So when you're trying to do something with business and music or career, whatever it is you're trying to do, and you're worried about all these relationships and people not helping you, there's only one that can help you. You got to believe in him. It's only one. So I put my trust in Allah. I put my trust in the Creator, because I don't wait for nobody to do nothing for me. Sometimes I'll say something to people, I'll test them. Like, yo, let's do this. And they'll be like, word is born, yeah, let's do that. And then you sit back and watch them. They ain't doing nothing. Just lip professing, right? And I'm a go-getter. When I decide I'm gonna do something, it's laser focus. And I just go do it, and they look at me. I know they be like, this motherfucker. I know they get mad. But guess what? I ain't on nobody else's path. I'm on my path. So the key here is we're talking about relationships and how you deal with people. And I'm trying to teach y'all something here. You have to have a purpose, a definiteness of purpose. When it's definite, that means there's nothing going to stop you. When you see some people still sitting around waiting for somebody to help them. My father never sat around waiting for nobody to help. I don't ever recall my father asking anybody for help. My mother either. So I'm cut from a whole different cloth, man. And because of them, I am who I am. And I'm very grateful and I'm very thankful for those relationships, the good, the bad, the indifferent, the ugly, all that stuff, because it's made me who I am. I've weathered some storms. And as this podcast continues, I'll do personal stories, and I'll keep talking about different things and educating you guys on different topics, from mental health to the music biz, to the corporate world, everything. So because that's what I do. I believe that God gave me something, and it's my responsibility to transfer it to the universe, to the world, and to people. Because whatever God gave you is not for you to hold. And I'm the type, whether I'm up or down, I'm going to help you. So I don't focus on those folks that are up and have relationships that keep them up, right? Or have relationships that could take me to another. I don't focus on those people and what they're not doing for me. It doesn't matter, right? There's this thing called karma. What you put out is what you get back. So I believe, hey, I'm going the hard way. I'm taking the long route, but guess what? Once I get to where I need to be, they can't take it, and they can't own it, and they can't say, oh, I did that. I'm the one who hooked him up. Because that's what people do. Everybody wants credit. I remember when I started my clothing line, people would hit me up with ideas. So you should do this, you should do that. Not even knowing it was already planned. Everybody wants to be able to say, I said this and I said that. And we got to get away from that. I'm a real genuine person, so it's easy for me to help people with asking for nothing in return. But I always end up on the losing end of the deal, right? But I always figured my mindset is I can't lose when I'm giving for his sake. I'm not giving it because it's you. I'm doing it because that's who I am. So I never lose. But I also watch those people, and I change how I deal with them. And I don't give people my stuff. And if I'm doing something in the relationship to help you and I'm getting nothing back, guess what? You ain't getting that from me no more. I see a lot of people out here starting different things, right? Clothes, they doing everything, right? And then they start hitting you up. Same way I've been hitting y'all up for 5 years. We're in year 6, going into year 6, right? I started my brand in 2017, right? And I watch people not help me. Just like you looking at this video, you see all my videos every day. You see all my clothes stuff that I post. People don't repost stuff. I don't care. So I'm just simply saying, keep that energy. Don't expect me to to explore your new venture, because I'm not. I'm probably not. And I don't mean that in the wrong way. I'm just at a point in my career and in my elevation that I have to have certain rules. See, those energies that are required to support people, I've been doing that for a long time. So I don't owe anybody anything. Anybody in my circle, my family, my nephews, they'll all tell you, my kids, I've helped them extensively. Now, I'm at the golden age where I'm helping me. And they ain't asking nobody for nothing but him. And if somebody wants to be a part of my journey and be a contributor, that's great. But relationships are very crucial. They make or break you. But you don't let the relationship define you. You have to be able to define yourself before you get into the relationship. You got to know who you are. That's how you stand strong and you overcome things. So that's what this is all about. And I really, really appreciate all my supporters, my listeners, and everybody that follow me and support the brand, the podcast. They're sharing it. They're commenting and engaging with me on the post. I really love that. I really love feedback. I want back what I give. You know what I'm saying? I want that. Because each one teach one. We all learn. We all grow. That's what it's all about. So for those who've been requesting to come on the show, definitely hit me up, right? But also understand there's a fee to come on the show. We have cost here, and the reality is I'm an expert in what I do. So I was taught a long time ago, when you do things for free, that's what you get in return. People don't value free. So there is a fee, right, if you want to be a guest on the show. And there's also fees if you want me to come on your show or you want to interview me for whatever the case may be. They're fees, and I'm not going to discuss them in this. But I want to give shout out to Urban Scholar Gear. Make sure you follow us. I want to give a shout out to Urban Scholar Music Group. Make sure you follow us. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Shout out to Class in Session. Please go on YouTube and subscribe. It's in our bio on Instagram. Go Class in Session Podcast on YouTube. Please subscribe. We need the support. We need you to share what we're doing. We need your feedback. And we want to know what you think about the show. And remember, the future's Urban Scholar.